The dryer is working too slow, and I am getting desperate for protein. So desperate, I try to use the maggots thinking they will dry faster. But they obviously will not attach. Finding the Molineria leaf was a double blessing. I used two of the leaves for bandages, and I crushed one to use as tinder. It is no surprise that I have more room in my food section of my backpack than I do for my supplies section, so I harvest the parrot right from the ground to save space. Now that I have tinder, I should collect more protein. I heard a buzzing sound far too late, but I was lucky. I walked right past the beehive. My weakened condition had me wandering almost aimlessly. I did not see any signs of civilization or technology nearby, so I decided to circle back and continue my recon of the area. There are no coconuts in the trees, so drinking their milk and using the husks as containers is out of the question. I narrowly avoided this venomous creature. If it were not for her telltale rattle, this might have been my last day on Earth. But I thank her for her warning and her sacrifice to keep me going. Hi, fantastico. More salvation delivered by these beautiful things. Two days ago, this was trash. Today, she was a bountiful treasure. Another magnificent find. These are like my little orange hat mushroom friends, but on steroids. Some local natives claim they also have aphrodisiac qualities. I don't blame them. They look very familiar to civilization's little purple pill. So much good fortune finding another parrot. I am also careful to destroy what I do not take, as I want very little evidence around to attract unwanted company. When I have more effective weapons, I will drop one of these noisy beasts. But for now, I must resort to scavenging smaller game. The dryer continued to prove ineffective. In my desperation, I told myself I must come up with a better solution. I resorted to taking a chance. I was starving, and perhaps I could cook many of these before the rains returned to mock me. I only had one piece of tinder though, so if this fails, I will face certain death. Once I lit the tinder, I knew I had to act quickly. They were tiny pieces of meat and I needed most or all of them to continue. If this did not work, I did not think I would last the night. It looked like this would be a success, so I began my next project, a covered hut, as it looks like I will be here a bit longer. The smell of the cooked meat was intoxicating. I could not control myself and felt my hands tremble as I reached for a piece. As I began to eat the last piece, I hesitated, knowing I should save at least one until I came up with a solution for the meat on the drying rack. Once I finished drinking my fill from the river, the thunder began to roll in. A very close call indeed.
No.
Before I begin construction of the hut, I decided to place all the herbs in an area like a medical station. I knew I needed to hurry with this construction, as night would soon be here. This large tree provided me with some of the long sticks I needed, but also with a few logs, which gave me an idea for keeping the fire lit and the rack dry. On the last tree I chopped down, I could only find one long stick. I will return for the other later when I am not in a rush. It is very important to keep yourself clean after a long day of work. parasites do not just come from the riverbeds. I could tell some of the mushrooms I had were about to turn. I separated them to tell them apart. As evening became night, I could see the full moon bathe the floors of the jungle with its light. I decided to go to bed early so I could begin my next project at dawn. My early work must have aroused the attention of a large beast. That growl, that's no capybara, no armadillo, no iguana. That is the sound of a man-eater. Its growl sounded inquisitive, curious, but I know that it could quickly turn its curiosities to savagery. There she is, beautiful, elegant, but deadly. I do not think she sees me yet, although she may smell me. I know I must have 100% concentration if this turns ugly, so I quickly removed the leeches so they would not distract me. She took cover behind the brush to prepare a pounce. Ven a mí! I shouted at her and threw the spear. She let out a dying growl and collapsed. Yes, she is dead. I knew she would make a fine feast, which makes building this structure all the more important. This green hell, que bruta. I heard some rustling in the brush. I hoped it was not her mate. I freeze. No, it was just a capybara. Even though I bested her, that large cat has me on edge. But she is dead. I must not let her get in my head. I must focus and continue my tasks.